Well, hello there again. It's time for our math lesson, and we're going to be doing lesson 147 today on pages 271 and 272 of your work text. Our topic for today is Celsius temperature, so we're going to be talking about the metric measurement of temperature. Here's a tool that we use to measure temperature. Do you remember what it's called? It's a thermometer. Thermometers tell us how hot or cold something is. Now, you might use a thermometer for a variety of things. If you want to know what the weather's like outside, whether you need a jacket or not, several of you have asked me, Mrs. Gimno, what's the temperature? And then I tell you, and you decide whether or not you need a jacket for that day. Or maybe you need to take your temperature if you're sick to see if it's too high and you're running a fever. Or sometimes if you, in the summertime when you're outside and you want to play in the water, your mom might be concerned about the temperature of the water. If it's too cold, she might say that you can't play in the water. So lots of different ways and reasons that we might use to have use for a thermometer. All right, let's look at this particular thermometer. On the left side, you see the uppercase F at the bottom. That's degrees Fahrenheit. We talked about degrees Fahrenheit earlier this year. Now we're going to focus on the right side of this thermometer where you see the degrees Celsius. Degrees Celsius is the units that I'll use in the metric system to measure temperature. Let's take a look at how this thermometer is laid out. First of all, you see lines of different lengths. The longest lines are pointing to multiples of 10. So starting at the bottom, we have negative 20 degrees, negative 10 degrees. Then there's our 0 line, 0 degrees. And from there, we count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40. So between every multiple of 10, there are 10 degrees. And that means each of those small lines represent 1 degree of temperature. Now, is your brain ready to work? How about the lines between the multiples of 10 that are slightly longer than the other lines? You see, the very shortest lines tell us that there's 1 degree between each of them. The longest lines point to multiples of 10. How about the lines in the middle, right between each number? So, for example, the line right after the 0, the longer line right after the 0 would be how many degrees? Did you say 5? If you did, you're correct. They mark the halfway point between each of the multiples of 10. Okay. Can you find 15 degrees Celsius? You try to find it. Start at the 0. You can go up to the 10. And then 5 more, we put it at the line halfway between the 10 and 20 degree mark. How about 20 degrees? Okay, that one's pretty easy. It's right at the 20 mark. How about 30 degrees? Do you see 30? Okay, again, pretty easy to find that one. How about 25? Where would 25 degrees Celsius be? If you said halfway between the 20 and the 30, that longer line there, you would be correct. Now, how about 9 degrees Celsius? That one could be a little trickier because it's not going to be one of the numbered lines and it's not going to be halfway in between the numbered lines. So again, start at the 0. You know that the first longer line is 5. And if we go up to the next number, that's too far. So 9 degrees Celsius would be at the mark right below the 10 mark. How about 34 degrees Celsius? Well, you can go all the way up to the 30 mark. And if each one of those little marks is worth 1 temperature, 1 degree of temperature, we can just count 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 would be the little mark right below the halfway point at 35 degrees. So 34 would be 1 mark below the 35 degree mark. How about 17 degrees? Well, you can go to the 15, right? You can find 15 pretty easily. And then just count on 15, 16, 17. So it would be between the 20 and the 15 mark. It would be 2 up from the 5 mark and 3 down from the 20 mark. 17 degrees Celsius. 22 degrees. Again, find the 20 degree mark, and you're going to count 2 more degrees up. So that would put it just 2 marks above the 20 degrees Celsius mark. You finding them? All right. Sometimes we get tripped up with the negative degrees. So let's do some practicing with that. Well, here we have a closer look at the thermometer in the negative regions here. And here you see the 0 at the top. And this time, when we go below 0, we have to sort of do it backwards. So we have 0, minus 10, minus 20. This thermometer goes down to minus 25 degrees. And the marks work the same way. We just have to think of it backwards. So, minus 1 degree Celsius would be 1 mark below the 0 mark. Minus 1 degree Celsius. And that's how we say that. Minus 1 degree Celsius. Minus 21 then. Okay, so we want to come down 10, 20, and 1 more down below the 20 would be minus 21 degrees Celsius. How about minus 7 degrees Celsius? Well, you know where the 0 is. You see the minus 5 line in the middle. That's minus 5. Go down 2 more. 6, 7. Minus 7 degrees Celsius. You see how that works? Here's another one. Minus 15. Well, we can go 0 down to the minus 10. Halfway between the 10 and the 20, you see the longer mark. That would be the 15. Minus 15 degrees Celsius. Did you find it? Good. All right, now there are some temperatures that we need to remember on the Celsius scale. The first one is the boiling point of water. Does anyone remember what the boiling point of water is on the Celsius scale? Maybe you've heard this before. If you said 100 degrees, you would be exactly right. Pretty easy one to remember, isn't it? So water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. How about the freezing point of water? Anyone remember at what temperature water freezes? Another easy one, 0 degrees Celsius. So the metric system is really easy to remember when it comes to the boiling point and the freezing point of water. It freezes at 0, it boils at 100. One more temperature that you need to know, and that is your normal body temperature. Now you might remember in Fahrenheit, our normal body temperature is 98.6 degrees. But in Celsius, the normal human body temperature is, are you ready? 37 degrees Celsius. So you will want to remember those 3 special temperatures from Celsius. So study those and make sure you know them. Let's do a bit more practice before we end our lesson today. All right, let's do a little bit of practice before we wrap up this lesson. All right, how about 29 degrees Celsius? Can you find 29 degrees Celsius on this thermometer? Go ahead, find it, keep your eye on it. Is that what you said? Good. All right, let's try another one. How about 16 degrees Celsius? Can you find the 16 degree mark on this thermometer? Keep your eyes on it. Is that what you chose? Good. All right, let's try another one. How about 8 degrees? Can you find the 8-degree mark on this thermometer? All right, you got it? Is that what you said? You're right. And one more. Can you find -2 degrees? Okay, this time we're going to go below 0. Did you find it? Is that where you thought it was? Good. All right, so just remember when you do negative temperatures, you have to start at the 0 and count down instead of counting up. Got it? All right. Well, I think you're ready to do your work page, and you're going to be practicing using a thermometer and finding temperatures on a thermometer. You're going to be comparing some temperatures, and you're going to be practicing some other metric units as well. If you get stuck, as always, give me a call. Have a great day.